Hi people, it's Ellie here, and I have my tea, so you know what that means. It's another episode of Tea Time. So today I'm very excited about this review. This is a review of the Maze Runner Trilogy by James Dashner. I have been hearing so much about these books for such a long time, and I'm so glad that I finally got around to reading them because they are so amazing. I have a very deep love for the Hunger Games trilogy, and it was the first series that I ever really fell in love with. And when I say this, I'm being serious. I think the Maze Runner trilogy trumped the Hunger Games trilogy. The first book is about a boy named Thomas who gets sent to this kind of farm where he doesn't know anything about himself except his name. He doesn't know anything about the world around him or where he came from. But there's a twist on this farm. One, it's filled with a bunch of teenage boys, and two, it's surrounded by a maze that they're stuck in. These boys have been living in the maze for 2 years now, and they've been trying to find a way out by sending runners into the maze to find an exit, but they have not been successful so far. When Thomas gets there, everything starts to change, and they have to find a way out of the maze, or else they'll pretty much die. One of the main reasons I love this book, and the whole series for that matter, is that you know nothing about the world. All you know is what Thomas knows, and that is wonderful to me. One of the things I hate about a book is if they say something but don't explain themselves, and so you're stuck in this world where you know nothing about, but the character you're reading about knows everything, and it's one of the most confusing things in the world because you can never keep anything straight. But with this book, the main character literally knows nothing, so you're learning about the world while he's learning about the world, and you're meeting the characters as he meets the characters, and it's just very refreshing. I read the first book while I was on vacation at the beach this summer, and I fell in love with it, like I've already said. I fell in love with that book to the point where I was scared to read the second book because I wasn't sure how it could compare to the first book, because the first book is so amazing. And by the end of this first book, you felt like the second book was going to have a completely different twist on it. When in reality, it didn't, and the second book was just as amazing as the first. I do not want to have any spoilers in this review, so all I'm going to say about the second and third books is that they definitely held true to the first book. The second book was just as good as the first, and you even met more characters and you got more of a story, and this whole series is kind of like a mystery of what's going on in this world around him and how is he going to get out, and it's just so good. The last book in the series was different from the first two, but still very good. This book does have a lot of action and violence and death, and I'm normally not the kind of person who likes a lot of action because I find it boring. However, James Dashner did it perfectly in this trilogy because I felt like I was on the edge of my seat the whole time trying to figure out the mystery behind this whole world before Thomas did, and it was just gorgeously written and wanted me to read more and more. This trilogy also has a prequel to the trilogy. However, I have not read that yet because, once again, I'm scared to read it, but after I film this, I'll probably pick it up in the next day or two anyway. In all honesty, I definitely recommend the Maze Runner trilogy. It is one of the best trilogies I've ever read and probably my favorite, even topping Hunger Games. It's that good. They're also making a movie version of the trilogy coming out with the Maze Runner in September, I believe, starring Dylan O'Brien and Kaya, I can't pronounce her last name, and I'm very excited for that, and I really hope it stays true to the book because I love the book so much. Anyway, I hope you guys like this tea time. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and comment down below if you love the Maze Runner trilogy and you just think it's amazing. If you'd like to check out my last tea time, you can click right here. If you'd like to check out my last video, you can click right here, or if you'd like to subscribe, you can click right here. Thank you so much for watching. I just love the Maze Runner, don't you? It's just so good, and it's just really good. Just go read it.